Okay, so part 4, the instructional artifact. So what is an instructional artifact? It's something that you have actually used in your classes with your students, okay? So that could be a lot of things. It could be a course syllabus that you designed. Could be PowerPoint slides from a lecture. Could be a problem set or a grading rubric, journal prompts, a lesson plan for a particular course, a particular day in your class. Maybe it's a midterm feedback tool, something you've designed to give to your students partway through the course, or some other kind of handout that you've given to help facilitate courses with the class with them. Might be writing prompts for an assignment that you've designed, participation guidelines, any other kind of assignment, or a reading list, a test, or a quiz that you've written. Anything that you've designed, put thought into, implemented, and given to your students, that your students have had to interact with. And the hard part of this is that you can only choose one. This is the extremely selective part of selective and representative, okay? So you can only include one of all of these different kinds of things, and not everyone's going to have access to some of them, right? If you were a recitation leader, then perhaps you didn't design the course syllabus, so that's probably not a meaningful document for you, but maybe you had a review guide that you wrote for your students, and that might be something very helpful. Where the real emphasis is going to be in the work, once you've selected it, the main thing you're going to really need to spend time on is actually your rationale. Okay, so your instructional artifact is going to be accompanied by a one-page rationale about why you chose this instructional artifact and what it is exactly that your committee is looking at. So this rationale should include the answers to the questions: who was the audience for the material? So the audience for that teaching material should line up with what you already had said in your Ohio State teaching responsibilities, right? So it should be something that you've designed for a class here at Ohio State. And then the other questions will reference hopefully back to your teaching statement. So why was this material developed? How is the material intended to be used? And what effects have you observed among students? Right? So this is the same sort of goal. What's the goal? Why did you develop this? How did you operationalize that goal, right? How did you intend to use this artifact? And then how do you know you met that goal? Did it work? Did your students respond the way you thought they were going to? And finally, this reflection or rationale can also include how you have or how you would improve the material. So what you want to have happen is for this instructional artifact to support the work that you've been doing otherwise, and to really help tell this complete story, right? So you're going to want the same part of you as a teacher that you emphasize in your teaching statement to be emphasized again in this instructional artifact. So if you say, for example, in your teaching statement that you really value active learning, that you really want your students doing things in class, hands-on experiences, really engaging with the problems of the discipline, and really working on their learning muscles and really getting this going. And then your instructional artifact is your favorite lecture, where your students have absolutely nothing to do besides take notes, and you expound on research related to your dissertation. Those two don't tell the same story, right? What would be more convincing as part of this portfolio is then to see maybe participation guidelines, or maybe an assignment prompt or a course lesson plan, how you actually spend one of those active class sessions, right? And then explain, this is when this happens in the semester, this is how I prepare the students for it, this is what they're actually doing. I've been really happy because I give them these instructions and they exceed my expectations and they go above and beyond when they're given the chance to really grapple with this problem, right? And so that's exactly what this rationale is for, to explain what we're looking at, why we're looking at it, and how it connects to everything else that's in your portfolio.